name's Taylor, this is Foods and Fixes, and today we're going to show you how to cook a steak. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do it. There's a sous vide technique, there is the reverse sear technique, but this is the basic. Hot pan, good cut of meat, that's really all you need. So the first step on how to cook a steak is you need a good cut of meat. So what we have today is the ribeye. And there's a lot of marbling in ribeye. It's a good ratio of fat to protein. And particularly what we have is one with a ton of marbling. You'll see different grades of ribeye when you go to the supermarket. You've got your choice grade, you've got prime grade, and then you've got Wagyu and American Kobe. And all that is the higher the grade, the more specks of fat there are in the protein. So that's what we are talking about when we talk about marbling, and there's a ton of it in this cut. Not a very thick cut. It's maybe half an inch or close to an inch. So this doesn't need a lot of cooking time. But what you want is a lot of marbling. You want that because the fat equals flavor. Next step, get a really hot pan. So this is a cast iron skillet. As you can see, it's already starting to smoke. We put it on high heat, and this pan's pretty much ready. So we're gonna get the steaks prepped, but typically you just don't want to use a nonstick. It's just not good for the pan's lifespan, because if you put in something really hot on the pan, it'll eventually degrade. So you want something good, like a nice high quality cast iron pan or a stainless steel skillet. Third step, seasoning. So with a steak like this, it's got so much flavor, so much fat in there that you don't really need much. So I'm just gonna do some kosher salt, and that's really all you need. After the steak is done cooking, you can add some pepper. I just don't like to add pepper when you're cooking on such a high heat surface because pepper's gonna burn. So we're gonna be very liberal with the seasoning, because with a steak, that salt is gonna get lost a little bit on that pan. So, you don't wanna under-season. There's nothing worse than an under-seasoned steak, so be very liberal with the salt. So we put the steaks down for the sear. It's a pretty thin cut, so you probably only need 2 to 3 minutes. The best way to check if it's done, use a thermometer. You can try all these different techniques of pushing on your hand and seeing if the meat springs back. This is the most accurate way to do it. So once we have a good hard sear, we'll flip it over, and that's when I'll stick in the thermometer to check on the reading. So I like to let it hit to about 125. At that point, I think it's done. I can take it off, and as it's resting, the steak is gonna climb up to about 135 internal temperature, which is the perfect medium rare. Okay, so the steaks are done cooking. It was literally about 3 minutes on one side, 2 minutes on the other. And right now, the most important step is to rest the meat. So it looks good, it looks delicious. I want to go ahead and eat it right now, but that would be a mistake. You need to give the meat some time to rest, let the juices recirculate back into the meat, and then when we cut into it, it'll be juicy, it'll be delicious. It's going to climb up in temperature a little bit as well. So when we took it off the heat, it was about 125 on the thermometer. So at this stage, you can also add some more seasoning if you like, because again, we use such a hot pan that it would have probably scorched any seasoning you were to add to it besides the salt. So I'm going to go ahead and put some fresh cracked black pepper on there. And then I'm going to give it about 5 minutes to rest. And at that point, we can cut in and start eating. Alright, so let's give this a try. Looks like it turned out pretty good. Very good. Wow. Ribeye is probably my favorite cut of beef. And the reason is it's just so flavorful. And that was really good. So if you ever come across meat that looks that marbled, it's gonna taste good. It's hard to mess it up. The only thing you can really do is overcook it because that fat will get really chewy. So we did a good job here. Whenever you cook a steak this method, you're gonna get a pretty hard crust, but you're gonna get that gradient where it's a little well done and then medium rare right in the middle. But we did a good job here. So I would give it a try, guys, and this is as basic as it gets. It's just hot pan. It's meat that is a good quality cut of meat, and it's just keeping an eye on it, making sure that you don't overcook, you give it time to rest, and it'll turn out good. So if you guys like the video, please click like, and also subscribe for future videos. We're trying to do as many as we can, and along the way, if you want more information, you can check out foodsandfixes.com. Thank you.